After the largest video game studio acquisition in history of Bethesda for $7.5 billion, Microsoft is not letting up the throttle. In fact, they're not even pushing in the clutch or downshifting. They are steadily on the gas, and they are buying up everything within sight. Let's talk about it. Alrighty guys, AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven, so I'm going to get a nap in here in a little bit. I have night watch this evening. For those of you guys that don't know, I took the black about 8.5 years ago, so I'm one of the men of the night watch, and basically I have to go outside the wall tonight to look for wildlings outside of the wall to fondle inappropriately, as well as white walkers that want to get fucked up. So, sharing my screen here, no, I do seriously have a watch, but it's not men of the night watch. So, I know the intro might have been a little bit clickbaity and whatnot, but it's not. It's based solely on fact here, so... Oh, not this. This is an article we're covering in a future video, but these two tabs right here. These articles will be linked in the description below. Anytime I cover any kind of news or article, I do, of course, cite my sources. It's important in college. It's important on YouTube as well. So, Microsoft reportedly in talks to buy gaming chat app Discord for $10 billion. So... This isn't a video game studio, however, this is primarily used for gaming chat. I don't really have to tell you guys, my avid gamer viewership over here, what Discord is. I mean, it's a phone app. It was on consoles for a while. Didn't work very well. Took it off some of the platforms. It definitely is on PC. In fact, most of the PC players have Discord installed because not only can you voice chat, text chat, but also you can screen record too. So if you're playing multiplayer with your boys, you can have what they see on your second monitor. So that way in like Escape from Tarkov, you're not team killing and stuff like that. Or if you go down, you can still kind of see what they're looking at. Granted, at certain games like Apex, you just get a view of their camera anyway. But Discord, fantastic application. And previous to the ZeniMax Media, which is Bethesda, this ZeniMax Media acquisition, which was $7.5 billion, along with 7 other studios, which are all added to the roster, the arsenal, the lineup of first-party Microsoft studios. But prior to that, the most expensive, I guess you could say, the most monetary value video game studio acquisition was $440 million. So Microsoft is throwing around some serious cash in their gaming division. They are not fooking around. F-H-U-K, fooking. They're not fooking around.
How about you get your own bottle?
So according to Bloomberg, which is a pretty it's a pretty major mainstream media outlet, so probably a pretty viable source that has a lot of insider information and whatnot, they are most likely trying to acquire Discord for $10 billion. This is a follow-up to an earlier report from VentureBeat that the SF-based company had received interest from several buyers. Whoa, one of those buyers is Team Green, and I guarantee you Microsoft has more money to throw around than any of these other companies. Not to Sony bash or anything like that. Hey, I got a PS5 in the living room as well, next to the Xbox, but Sony's not throwing around money like that at any studios, at any gaming applications. They're not as hungry, I guess you could say, to acquire more and to do more right now than Xbox, which is awesome. That creates a level of competitive edge for Xbox, which I think they need. I mean, you know, sales, obviously, they're doing great. They're doing phenomenally. You can't just walk into a store and buy either of these consoles. People are scooping them up like hotcakes. I don't know where that phrase came from. Does anybody go out there and gobble up all the hotcakes at the grocery store, fight some old lady for them? I don't think so. Overall, the company says it counts more than 250 million users. Yes, like I mentioned, Discord is huge. And this is an interesting little tidbit to squeeze on here, guys. The pandemic has increased consumer focus on video games, which is already the largest, the most lucrative media, period. The video game industry earns more than movies, books, music, not combined, but separately. It earns more than all of those. And the NPD, not the NYPD, don't get it twisted, boys, said that spending spending on video games, so that's not just the games, it's most likely the consoles as well, probably accessories, hit a record of $11.2 billion. That's about what my channel makes in ad revenue every month. In the third quarter of 2020, an increase of 24%. Fat capital gains right there over the previous year. So like I said, video game industry, already the largest grossing media industry. And maybe this is actually just video games, not the industry, because I think last time I checked, it was much higher than that, and it wasn't a 25% increase or anything like that. So, good stuff over there. But Microsoft isn't done. You know, yeah, cool. We got Bethesda. Yeah, we just added 20 titles to our Game Pass library of Bethesda titles. All of the Skyrim with all the DLC, Dishonored, Prey, Doom Eternal, Fallout. Yeah, those are all over there, but it's not enough. It's simply not enough, boys. So back in 2013, there had been rumors of Microsoft wanting to scoop up Team Blue, which is Sega. Well, technically Team Blue nowadays would be PlayStation, but a major player in the game back in the day. Some of you guys, some of my viewership might be in their 40s like myself here. And remember Team S, if you will. Damn, that still sounds like Team Sony. Okay, Sega. So there was like Atari, Sega. Yeah, and Sega was a major player. I mean, from the Genesis to the Sega Saturn to the Sega Dreamcast, they were fat in the game with consoles and games for a while. Then they fizzled out. But back then, Microsoft made a statement saying, at this time, Sega doesn't have the horsepower or the power for an acquisition to be necessary. But they're revisiting this again. This article came out as I puke in my mouth. This article came out on the 15th, so a few days ago. And this person pushing the cart, this is Microsoft. And these lemons, these delicious citruses in here, that's Sega and Konami. It's imagery. I mean, this is great journalism over here. But anyway, they're talking about how Sega and Konami, by the way, I'm going to mention the titles that each one of these umbrellas here cover, but some fat bangers, as the kids say. Once the news broke out of jail that Microsoft was looking to fuck out Bethesda, most of us were taken aback 2 paces. Microsoft supposedly looking to acquire both, you greedy, greedy guys, Konami and Sega. Now, the main question is why? Answering it, however, is a bit of a granular analysis. No, it's not. They both have fantastic IPs, they both have a huge fan following, and they both have a ton of long-lived and still ready-to-grow franchises. So Konami has Bomberman, which there hasn't been a good Bomberman title since I think the N64. Castlevania, we're due for a new Castlevania. There's still a huge cult following behind Castlevania. If a modern Castlevania title came out, people would buy it. Contra, Metal Gear Solid. So I am a huge Metal Gear fan, and I still to this day stand behind the sentiment that Metal Gear Solid has some of the best storytelling. Yes, it gets a little confusing at times when time frames and paths cross and whatnot. But, God, oh my God, the gameplay, it was like one of the original stealth games. That and Siphon Filter back in the PS1 days, boys. Metal Gear, if they made a exclusive Xbox Series S and X and PC, obviously, you know, the Game Pass ecosystem, new Metal Gear Solid title, that would be a huge W for them, which they're not really at a shortage of. I mean, they just launched one of the best $100 headsets in the game. Game Pass is flourishing. They just got Bethesda. Pro Evolution Soccer, so not as big as the FIFA series, but still a major title when it comes to soccer games, and people love to take a kick to the balls. And Silent Hill, one of the greats. Personally, there was a good 2 to 3 year block back in like the PS2 to PS3 or Xbox 360 era where Silent Hill games were actually more enjoyable than Resident Evil, and they were kind of competing with each other there. And Sega, Sonic, Yakuza, Total War, Bayonetta, Football Manager, Super Monkey Ball, Phantasy Star, Virtual Fighter, and many more. So the only titles there that I think really stand out as hits would be Sonic, Yakuza, Bayonetta, Phantasy Star, and Virtual Fighter. So there's a couple in there like Super Monkey Ball. I'm sure there's some fans out there. I didn't mean to offend you by not mentioning your favorite game, but some good titles there. It's no secret that Microsoft isn't exactly moving the needle in Japan. Heck, that's putting it mildly here. They've sold around 1,500 units of Series S and X and just 10 Xbox Ones during the last week of February. So this has been ongoing for since the Xbox launched. I was going to say the last like 3 or 4 console generations, but honestly, since the original Xbox. Overseas, in Asia, particularly Japan, they do not like the Xbox. Now over here, we like the Sony, and we like the Xbox. And we like our PCs, and we like our Nintendo Switches. But over there, they are very, very picky. They do not like to see that green, that lime green glow in their living room. It literally makes people lose their appetite. Like, they do not like it over there. Now, this could come down to a couple factors. One might be they don't want to support the US economy with a, primarily US owned company, Microsoft. If you look at the PlayStation DualShock 3, DualShock 4, they're smaller controllers. They probably fit the hands over there better. Now, the DualSense 5 is substantially bigger. In fact, it's almost as big as an Xbox One controller. In fact, millimeter for millimeter, it is as big. It's just shaped differently, which is ergonomically great for North American hands, but might not be the best for in Japan. But anyway, these are absolutely terrible numbers. Those are rookie numbers. You need to pump those up. And that's in comparison to 3,000 PS4s and 33 PlayStation 5s. And that's still in the same time frame, which is the last week of February. However, the Nintendo Switch is in a league of its own with over 78,000 units sold during that single week. That's not just in Japan. The Nintendo Switch is leading sales in North America and Europe as well. It's absolutely shredding. Absolutely shredding. I'm going to make a separate video on that. It'll probably be titled something catchy like Nintendo Switch better than PS5 and Xbox Series X, and it'll have like a thumbnail of me like in like, the Xbox and the PlayStation on fire, and then like the some gold coins dropping, fucking raining on the face of the Switch. That was a weird, I had a crink in my wrist there. But yeah, if they were to scoop up Sega and Konami, they would have access to some really sick titles, boys. I do believe that. And honestly, they probably won't have to pay a whole heck of a lot for Sega, considering they haven't really been doing or producing much. They'd probably be able to get a pretty quick turnaround or ROI, return on investment, buying Sega, as I think their entry costs in the contract would probably be relatively low. Konami, not so much. Konami's still a thick boy. Still pretty fat around the edges. So, and Discord, that's huge news as well. So I gotta say, Microsoft is throwing around some major fundages, scooping up a lot of huge companies. And, this Discord deal here shows that it's not necessarily just video game studios, but anything related to the gaming community and industry. Discord is by far the most used chat application for gamers. So if they can get that baked into the Xbox, I'm sure they won't make it, exclusive where it's no longer usable on PlayStation or anything like that. I'm sure they won't make it to where like you need like a Game Pass subscription to use it or anything like that. But if they can get like an integrated Discord app on the Xbox Series S and X, just like the PlayStation 5 has Twitch broadcasting integrated with the software of the PS5, as we're on the Series S and X, you need to launch the Twitch app separately to broadcast, stream directly from your console. That if you're not using a capture card plugged into a laptop, that method's different. But if they were to integrate a Discord chat app into the Xbox streamlessly, where you just press a button, or double tap something on your controller and it enters you into a chat, and you can do all the features that you can do on PC, where you can, watch your buddies screen recording and stuff like that. That'd be great. That would be a huge win for them, I'm sure. Drop in the comment section below your guys' opinion on the acquisition or potential acquisition, I should say, of Discord, Sega, and Konami by Microsoft. They are obviously not messing around. They are taking somebody to Pound Town. I'm not going to say who. If you enjoyed this content, shoving a thumb right where the sun don't shine, liking the video helps it to get seen by more people, helps me to grow my little channel, which I greatly appreciate. We are making massive strides when it comes to the subscriber count here. I've gained 2,900 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is massive growth for a channel that only has about 9,000 subscribers. That means I'm gaining traction and I'm going somewhere. I was burning out for a while, but these tires are starting to actually hit the pavement and spring forward, so to speak. So that's awesome. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover a lot of news in the gaming community and industry, as well as tutorials helping you get set up, streaming and YouTubing. See you guys.